Hello, beautiful friends and book lovers. I hope that you are all doing well. Today, I am coming at you with a non-spoiler review and book chat for those of us who have read on the thriller The Golden Couple by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. This is my second book that I have read by this duo of authors. The first was An Anonymous Girl, which I have reviewed. I'll link that up here for you. But as you guys know, I'm all about reading and reviewing mysteries and thrillers, and I actually made a vow to myself that I am going to purchase every thriller the Book of the Month markets for the month. So this was their February thriller that they chose to sponsor. I don't know, that they chose. So I would have picked this anyways because I had a decent time reading An Anonymous Girl. I didn't necessarily love the ending, but I was super excited to see what this book was all about. I'm hoping I can get this completely filmed before our son wakes up because he is napping. But anyways, so if you're new here, you can connect with me on Goodreads and Instagram. It's the same, just at Heather's Book Review, and I will link that in the description box below. I will also link my referral code to Book of the Month. If you are just joining, it is a $14.99 monthly subscription. Your first month is $5 and you get a hardcover book that retails anywhere from $25 to $30 usually for $14.99. So I think it's a really great, reasonably priced subscription. So for the non-spoiler, I am going to go ahead and read you the very, short synopsis. I actually never read the synopses, is that the plural? I don't know, of books. Synopsis just sounds weird, doesn't it? I never read the synopsis of a book. Let's just say that, because I feel like I don't know. I like to go into it completely surprised, but I realize I'm in the minority for that. So it says, wealthy Washington suburbanites Marissa and Matthew Bishop seem to have it all until Marissa is unfaithful. Beneath their veneer of perfection is a relationship riven by work and a lack of intimacy. Marissa wants to repair things for the sake of their 8-year-old son and because she loves her husband. Enter Avery Chambers. Avery is a therapist who lost her professional license. Still, it doesn't stop her from counseling those in crisis, though they have to adhere to her unorthodox methods. And the Bishops are desperate. When they glide through Avery's door and Marissa reveals her infidelity, all three are set on a collision course because the biggest secrets in the room are still hidden and it's no longer simply a marriage that's in danger. The Golden Couple perfection is deceiving. Okay, so I'm going to start with my ratings for this. I am giving this book an enjoyable read. And let me tell you why. So basically, oops, where'd my notes go? I really was bored. I was bored until the first, honestly, my notes say until my note literally says it's page 80 and I am still bored. So that's never really a good sign, especially for a thriller that doesn't even reach 330 pages. I would say the average length is around 330, 350 for typically the thrillers that I read. But if it's not picking up for you by page 80, page 50, it's usually not a good sign. But obviously I was going to continue to read it. And I'm glad that I did because it definitely picks up for sure. But I kind of felt like I myself was speeding through a lot of the fluff. I felt like even for such a short thriller, if you will, there was a decent amount of fluff that we didn't really need. I will say too that I was able to figure out, which I will talk about in the spoiler section for those of us who have read, but I was able to figure out a lot of the twists. There was only one little thing at the end that I didn't see coming, but it wasn't really something that was super exciting. But I will say once I was hooked, I was hooked. So I would say it's a good thriller, but it's not great. If you already do have Book of the Month, I would probably say you should just choose it for an add-on if you haven't already chosen it. And because at that point you can get it for $10 and, I know it's really hyped up because this is a dynamic duo when it comes to the thriller community of authors. But yeah, I wasn't underwhelmed at the ending. it's just like the beginning of the journey like really, really lags. And then I will say like there are a lot of suspenseful parts in the book, which was fun. There was one part in particular in the book where I literally was like, please, like, nobody bother me for like 10 minutes so I can see how this ends kind of thing. So that's always fun, and there's a lot of suspense. But yeah, I would say it's good. It's just not like great. I am going to go ahead and get into the book chat part of the video for those of us who have read. So if you're new here, I'll link my psychological thrillers playlist up here for you so you can check that out. And I would love if you could subscribe before you leave. But I am going to get chatting with some spoilers. Okay, I'm going to be referencing my notes because I have a lot of notes for the spoiler section. I literally just finished this before filming. I put my son down for a nap and was like, okay, I literally had like 6 pages left. I felt so uncomfortable like when I was first reading this book, when Marissa and Matthew were in their first session with Avery, and she literally says to Matthew, like, I want you to think of the best sex you've ever had, but not with Marissa. I was like, oh my God, how awkward. Like, imagine her like sitting there, like hearing that. Like, I'm surprised they didn't just walk out and leave then. Like, I know in the flap it says the like unorthodox methods, but like that just seemed a little like freaking weird. So my thoughts on Avery definitely switched throughout the book, but I want to read you this exact thought I had while reading. I said, I have a feeling Avery put the note under Marissa's door because I just don't think she's a good person. I think the authors are building her to be unlikable, yes. Like when she wasn't feeling super remorseful about her husband's death. I will say as the book progressed, I was like, there's no way she killed her husband. Like, yeah, she seems like a shitty person, but like, I don't think that she killed him. Unbeknownst to me, the last page of the book, we learned that it was an assisted suicide. So her husband was made aware of what she was doing. And obviously seems like he wanted it for himself because he was so sickly. But yeah, initially I thought it was Avery with the note. And then I didn't see it coming that Matthew and Skip would have the same gloves, because when we first found out that when the homeless man Ray was like, yeah, like he gave me these gloves, I was like, Skip, I guess, but didn't see it coming that it was Matthew. So that was a pleasant surprise. So we know something is going on with Skip because when Avery saw him like the second time, she realized that he was looking like kind of sickly himself, had lost a bunch of weight, like just didn't seem like himself. And then we were meant to think that he was working for Acalia, I don't know how you guys would say that company that was after her, because she, you guys know, I mean, you read it at this point, but they were after her because of the news that she let out about the company. But it just didn't fit for me. I was like, I don't know why Skip would be working for that company. And now that I'm saying this out loud, I don't know why he was snooping through her office. I don't know. Was it because I don't know. Why was he snooping through her office? Because I know that now I'm getting the scenes confused. This is where I was able to figure out the major twist. So, and if you've watched my review on Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney, I'll link that up here too. I was able to call that thriller really early in the beginning because I thought to myself, what would the author want us to think? Like, what are they trying to set us up for? And that's how I was able to figure out that twist there. Here, same deal. When we learned about how Marissa and Skip were at that bonfire when they were teenagers and Tina was trying to be promiscuous and then the guys were roasting her and she got embarrassed and left. And then Marissa was like, let's go after her. When that whole thing happened, Marissa said, I thought it was weird that Skip went to Matthew's house to like watch a movie or something because they weren't that close. So then I was like, okay, let's sit on this for a second. The authors want us to think it was Skip and that he was like lying and that Matthew was covering for Skip. And I was like, but if that's what the authors want us to think, why don't we reverse it and think Skip is actually covering for Matthew? And lo and behold, that's what it ended up being. So this is like something new for me since I like only read thrillers. Well, not only, I mean, actually you guys would be very proud of me. In the month of February, I have read 2 romances because it was Valentine's Day and I wanted to read some romance. But anyways, because I mainly read thriller, I try to figure it out because that's why I like reading thrillers, right? But then like when you do, there's like, it's like a double-edged sword. It's like you're like satisfied with yourself that you were able to figure it out, but then on the same end, you're like, but I was right. Does anybody else feel that way? Like you're like proud of yourself, but then you're also bummed because then it like kind of feels a little bit predictable to you. But anyway, so I was able to figure that out with my sleuthy spy skills. No, I'm just kidding. But no, so that was like, I would say that was a major twist of the book. I mean, would you guys agree? Like that, I think that was the major twist. What I didn't see coming was that Chris, you can see how like my mind is way far ahead than what I'm actually saying. That Chris worked for that like Excelia company or whatever. I didn't see that coming, but that explains why she found the rum and coke like receipt on the boat that Matthew was renting or whatever for their anniversary night, because maybe he was like trying to kill her off then or something. I don't know. So yeah, that's basically all of my thoughts containing spoilers on The Golden Couple. If you want to chat with me in the comments, I would love that, but please indicate if the comment contains a spoiler so those of us who haven't read it yet don't get spoiled. But I'm super excited to see what the book of the month thriller for March is going to be. I'm trying to map out my March reads. This is my TBR shelf up here. Let me like see if can you guys see it okay? Those are all the books that I have to read. So I don't know. I might do a little science fiction and do dark matter. If you see something there that you're like, oh my God, you need to get on this and read it, let me know and maybe you can help me map out my March a little bit. But as always, thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, you guys.